Hey friends, my name is Robert. You're watching Daybird Aviaries. I want to show you an aquarium video today. I want to preface by saying that my pet birds are still in the house. They will be transitioning to the outdoor aviary soon, so make sure you're subscribed to be able to keep up with all the happenings here on the farm. I want to show you this aquarium. Now I have this tank. It looks a little bit dirty, and that's because it is. We're just now setting it up. It is a used tank that was given to us. It is a 35 extra tall aquarium. It is the same footprint as a 29-gallon aquarium, which is also the same footprint as a 20-long-gallon aquarium. The footprint is 12 inches front to back and 30 inches from side to side. This is on the same stand where our little saltwater tank was. I've always wanted a saltwater aquarium, still do, but I made the decision to no longer keep the little saltwater tank that we had going in the bedroom. I just couldn't afford the equipment that was needed to keep it. They need very specialized equipment. They're not difficult or expensive to maintain once you have bought the equipment, but they need the proper filtration and UV sterilizers and things of that nature, and the live rock that goes into the aquarium is extremely expensive at $10 and $12 a pound. So the same friend that came and got my spiny mice the other day, he actually took the 29-gallon saltwater tank with him. He's going to convert it into a freshwater aquarium. And I was left with this hole here on this stand where the 29-gallon saltwater tank was. Down below is our mud skipper tank where Skippy lives. I thought, well, I'll just move Skippy's tank up high. But then a lady that Daniela works with said, just out of the blue, said, hey, I have an aquarium set up as a freshwater, it's just a regular fish tank. It has some fish in it. Would you be interested in it? And so Daniela brought this home to me, and it fits perfectly where the other one was. It came with fish in it already. The little cory cats down on the bottom moving around, if you can see those. And some other fish, some barbs and some danios. I have those in a different tank that I had kind of like a quarantine tank while I was setting this up. I didn't get to see this tank while it was set up at the friend's house, but it has that beautiful sponge filter in the back, that thing that's producing the bubbles in the corner. That's a sponge filter. It also has an internal canister filter that's hanging up in the top left-hand corner. And it came with the heater and the lights, of course. That log that you see is a piece of manzanita. Now, if you're a bird keeper or a fish tank keeper, Planet Aquarium, if you follow along Planet Aquarium YouTube channels, you know that manzanita is a very hard, dense wood. It grows commonly out in the western part of the United States, but it's very gnarly and twisted and convoluted. It's used as bird perches, and that's exactly what that piece had been used for. It came with a bird cage, and I didn't need to use that perch. It had a bolt in the end of it, the end that's buried into the gravel, and I removed that bolt, washed it down real good, and put it in the tank. Like I said, it is commonly used in aquariums. You can see I've got that big giant rock perched up on top of it, and that's to hold it down, because although it is very dense and very heavy wood, it weighs a lot, but it's still lighter than water, so I'm having to wait for it to become completely waterlogged, and then I'll remove that rock. But you know what? I kind of like the rock up there. It looks kind of weird and funny, and kind of like me, I like that. I'm going to add some live plants to this tank, just a few. I'm not going to go crazy decorating it. I just want a very simple tank. I'm going to add back the barbs that were in this tank to begin with, and then a couple other bigger fish that I have. One of the reasons I don't want to go crazy planting the aquarium is because my bigger fish may actually eat the plants. So I may end up having to do just plastic plants for decorations in there. And that's okay. The plants that I bought were very, very inexpensive to begin with. I got them on a Black Friday sale at a local pet store, and they were about half off. And so I got them, pretty much at their cost. And so I've divided them up. They came sold to me in a bunch. Here, I will show you. Let me hold this out in front of the camera. It is a group of Vallisneria, or sometimes called eelgrass or duck grass or water celery. It is a plant that is native to parts of the United States. It's a nice twisted looking grass, and I'm going to plant that in there. This whole bunch cost me about $1. It was twisted up with a rubber band on it, and I think most people would have just planted the whole thing together. I have separated it out, and there are about 7 individual plants in this grouping, and so I'm going to spread those along the back wall of the tank. So let's do that. I'm using the metal tongs that I use when I feed snakes and lizards, and just pushing the roots, trying to push the roots under the surface of the gravel. That one's not wanting to go. There, stick. Now these spread by runners, so if the fish don't eat them, then they will spread out in this tank. It is supposedly a very easy to keep plant. I've actually never tried to keep it before. Uh-oh. That one came up. Let's get him back in. There. Now you stay. And I have one more tiny little, can you see? Am I just making a mess? I can't see what I'm filming. Tiny little plant. I'm going to put it, and it came loose. Here, I want it right about there. And I have one more plant, which is a big, pretty broadleaf plant. It's an Amazon sword. So I'm going to put it in right here. There, now that's pretty. Now just like with planting strawberry plants, you don't want to bury the crown too deeply. The crown is that part of the plant where the stems meet the roots. You know, if you've ever planted a hosta or a strawberry, you know what I'm talking about. I think that looks really nice. You know, it's not a professionally aquascaped aquarium. It's not something that you would see at a big aquarium trade show, but it's mine, and it cost me all of about $4 to put together, just to buy those plants, utilizing things that have been gifted to me and things that I already have around. That's going to be very beautiful, very welcome. But that's going to be a nice, calm, serene thing of beauty in my world of chaos. The filter is going to clean up all those particulates that are floating around and get that all taken care of. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to move some of those fish over. I can go ahead and stock this completely, only because the filters are completely cycled. If you're not familiar with the nitrogen cycle, that's something that you need to look up and learn about before you start an aquarium of your own. That's the process by which bacteria convert the fish waste, particularly the ammonia and other nitrogen products of their waste, into less harmful compounds. But the bacteria colonies are already present and alive and healthy in those filters. So I'm just putting the same fish back into the same aquarium with the same filters. They just get new water and new scenery. So let me take a break, and then I'll move those fish over.